Common learning disability that affects many kids in school today.
Today, Region 7 Education Service Center in Kilgore hosted students and staff from more than 30 East Texas school districts to learn more about dyslexia. KLTV's Michael Richardson spoke with organizers and the students about the event.
Exploring a planetarium, meeting animals, playing silent disco, and participating in some classic games. It's what Region 7 ESC has on display for dozens of students across 31 districts with dyslexia as part of Dyslexia Awareness Month. What is dyslexia? ETBU professor Dana Blackaby explains.
Dyslexia is a specific learning disability, and it's something that happens in a student's brain. It is something that is hereditary. One of the most common characteristics of students with dyslexia is they have difficulty spelling.
This is the third year the event has taken place in Region 7, and some East Texas University students made it possible. As a student with dyslexia, Catherine Byers hopes that participants come away empowered.
My goal is that this impact teaches kids that dyslexia isn't something that's going to disable them in life, but instead give them an ability that they can look at different perspectives better than other people.
Junior at ETBU Braden Kelly wishes a similar event was around when he was younger, as a student with dyslexia.
It helps the children not feel alone, because this is an individual problem that each kid has to deal with and learn in their own way. So I think if you can collectively keep kids together, bring them in a tight-knit circle, and figure out that they're not alone, I think it helps boost their confidence.
Michael Richardson, KLTV 7 News.
A study published by the Texas Education Review found that roughly 7% of students statewide had dyslexia during the 2022 and 2023 school